everyone. This is part 4 of the series Working with the Element of Air. And specifically, today I'm talking about herbs that support the lung system. So that's what part 4 is going to be, herbs that support the lung system. So thanks for joining in. If you're watching live, give me some comments so I know that you're here. Hey, Georgiana, I see you there. If you're watching the replay, you can also let me know, hashtag replay, or let me know what you like about this episode. And then also, we are recording this for my herbs podcast, Herbs with Erin, Remedies for Body and Spirit. You can find it on iTunes and Spotify. And then everything is also put into a blog. So the audio, the video, and some of the other things that I share in text form too. Hey, Angela. Yes, so today is herbs for the lung system, supporting that system of our body. Since the element of air is the theme for this month, I thought I would talk about lung system, herbs that support that, because that is what our human system is supported by for air exchange. And in the past episodes, we talked about air as symbolism. I talked about the leaves of the plant as the leaves, how they symbolize air as the organ for the plant, because they exchange the gases so much. Typically, that's the main organ of the plant that brings in the gas exchanges. So, hey, Jessica and Cheryl, good to see you here. So, herbs for the lungs. One of them that is blooming right now in my area is elecampane. It's got this brilliant yellow flower. There are several of them. They're in like a spike, and there's just rows of these beautiful yellow flowers, and they have these wispy petals, kind of remind me of like eyelashes. And elecampane is very tall. So right now it's probably 5 feet tall. And it's spelled Elecampane. So elecampane. Its Latin name, the scientific name, is Inula helenium. Inula helenium. So Inula, Inula, helenium, like Helen, Helenium. And the leaf of it is huge, very, very big. Kind of looks like comfrey in some ways, but it is softer than comfrey is. Comfrey leaves are kind of scratchy. And it's got this, what we call tomatose, or it's hairy on the underside of the leaf. So, and that's how you get this white, silvery, fuzzy looking underside. So you can see the difference there. And it is very, very soft. Very soft. So this side is not scratchy like comfrey would be. And it has, the midrib is not as thick as comfrey is either. Now, my elecampane and comfrey used to live side by side together, so it was easy for me to learn the difference between the two. And elecampane is very tall, has different flowers. So Angela is asking, is it full of inulin? Which inulin is basically, it's basically a fiber, essentially. We can't break it down in our body, so it acts like a wonderful fiber to help our system, gastrointestinal system. And yes, it is like 40% inula in the root. So it is very high in inulin, as we call it, inulin, which we find in dandelion root and chicory. Those have a high inulin. You will see the word inulin on fiber bars as one of the ingredients, or you'll see the word chicory, because that's where, they're getting their inulin from. So it's very, very good for the digestive system. It's a prebiotic. So all the probiotics that we take to get all our microbiome to be well diverse in our system, they need food too, and it's a prebiotic. Yes, definitely its name, inula. So here we go. So the part of elecampane that's used, it's not the leaf or the flower, not for the lung support anyways. It is the root, and the root system does smell very, it has a distinct odor to it, and I think it's nice. So if you ever are digging your roots and have a couple roots that you're digging up, if you smell it, you'll be able to really tell which one is the elecampane. And it is the root or the rhizome that is used to make like cough syrups or cough suppressant type syrups, teas, tinctures, decoctions. And so it is very helpful for an antitussive, an expectorant. It's an antibacterial, and it's also soothing. So it's like a demulcent. So it seems kind of strange to hear that something is antitussive, which means reduces the cough, but yet at the same time, it's an expectorant. It helps dislodge any of the phlegm and stuff that's stuck in there. So there are several plant constituents, of course, that the root has, and they kind of, they're synergistic. They work together. So while it can help to kind of loosen up, and demulcents are like slippery, kind of like mucilaginous, it helps to get things to be able to move out and not be so hard. And so as they move out, that also the other effect is it helps to soothe that system that's also, having to have those spasms of coughing fits. So it will reduce the coughing. It will help get things moving and out, which, usually once you get stuff moving and out, if you have a lot of phlegm, that phlegm can cause us to cough, right? Because it's in there. Our bodies want to try to get it out. And if it's stuck, then we just keep coughing and coughing. But if we get some of that out, reduce the irritation, then we can reduce some of that cough that we're getting. So it can do all of those things. And plus it has that antibacterial component to it. So if anything is, any kind of microorganism that's causing us to be sick, it can also assist with that. So it is the root of it. One of the ways to prepare it is to take a teaspoon of the ground up herb, of the root, not whole. You never want to dry your roots whole because they're very hard. They're like rock hard after that. But if you take the root and it's in pieces when it's dried, you take a cup of cold water and you pour it over the pieces of root, and you can let it sit for 8 to 10 hours. And then after that, you can heat it up and drink the heated up version of it. So that's one way you can prepare it. And certainly there's several other ways to, make syrups and things like that. Now, elecampane, this brilliant yellow color, isn't that pretty? It also works well in conjunction with some other herbs that are supportive of the lung system. It also can work with coltsfoot. And with coltsfoot, it's the flowers and the leaves that get used for the herbal remedies. And also, I've spoken about this plant many times, the mullein, Verbascum thapsus, which is out in abundance right now. And that part that we use to soothe and support the lung system is the leaves. So some of the indications that people would have in their body and to know to use some of these herbs is a sickness where it's affecting the lung system. It could also be something along the lines of asthma, and also things like bronchitis. Elecampane is also used for like emphysema. So there's a lot of physical ailments, and also our modern day medicine has lots of diagnosis for these particular things. Before there was categorized symptoms, which equal diagnosis, people would say, having a hard time breathing, I'm feeling constricted, I have phlegm, like they would just say their symptoms, and then it would help determine which herb to use. Now, I really encourage you to try to find an herb that grows in your area that helps support the lung system, just so that you could potentially grow it or wildcraft it for yourself if possible. And if you can't do that, perhaps there's somebody you know in the area who is a forager or gardener, an herbal person who would have these things. And then last but not least, you can order these things as well. But just try to keep with plant species that are in your area if possible, because then you can see them as they grow and really get to know that particular herb in your area. And there's something to be said about using herbs that are local and near us and also acclimated to the same kind of weather and climate that we are also physically living in. Yes, Angela says, I've been giving mullein tea to my son for his asthma and allergy issues. Yeah, it can really support the lung system, the mullein leaf tea can. So some of these herbs you don't necessarily have to wait until you're in a crisis that you have symptoms upon you. Some of them are definitely well suited to be used in advance to support the whole system too. Yeah. You're excited, Angela, when you found your first plant this year. It is exciting to learn about a plant and then to learn that it can grow in your area and then to find it. And it's super exciting to know that most likely you don't have to pay anybody to harvest that. So it's, our blood, sweat, and tears sometimes to harvest stuff, and it takes time, definitely. So there is some payoff there, but yeah, it is super fun to be able to find something and to be able to harvest it if possible. And yes, nettle infusions do help with those allergies as well. So the coltsfoot, elecampane, and mullein, and those plants, parts of them for mullein is the leaves, the coltsfoot is the flowers and the leaves, and the elecampane is the root. So when you're working with roots, remember that if you put this plant in the ground, you're going to have to wait a couple of years for it to get established enough that you can harvest it while also leaving some to grow. So people often ask me where to purchase herbs in the meantime. And again, see if there's somebody around you that's growing things or that knows where you can wild harvest it. And then if not, I like Mountain Rose Herbs is my go-to company, but certainly there could be other companies that are more local to you as well. Carrie says, yes, it's like winning a prize when you find a new herb in your local area. It really is like a gift that you found, and sometimes it was always there and you suddenly realize that it has some other benefits besides, its beauty and just enjoying how it grows. But yeah, finding a new herb, it is like a prize. It's like it's like meeting a celebrity, right? It's like you've read about them, you've heard them talk, you've seen pictures of them, and all of a sudden this herb that you've been hearing people talk about, you've been looking at pictures, writing about, maybe even using in herbal remedy making, but suddenly there it is in its complete form in front of you, and it's always so fun to use and use. I'm not, off the top of my head, Angela, mimosa tree, I'm not quite sure. I know that that's not one that's real local to me, so I don't get to see that one much, but I'm pretty sure people use that for a flower essence. Yeah. All right, everybody. So this has been the Element of Air series. We're done with part 4. And next month, we're going to be start doing a series on herbs in late summer. And it's going to be geared for herbs that are in late summer here in Wisconsin. So some of these herbs that I'm going to go through may have already hit their peak and everything in your area, but for me, they may be already hit, getting to their peak. So each week of the series, I'll talk about a late summer herb / plant that's in the area and how it can be used. So yeah, so that's what the next series is going to be. August 16th through the 19th will be the Plant Priestess Exploration Workshop. We'll be getting the sign-up information, the registration page to you very soon, probably in the next day or two. This is going to be the last free Plant Priestess workshop that I do. So many of you have been coming through a lot of those workshops with me over, year and a half or more. And this is going to be the last free one that we have. And it's only 4 days. So be on the lookout for that email or post somewhere in the Facebook pages or groups that you're in. And so you can register for that. When people register, they get the workbook, they get reminders, any updates about the workshop, and all sorts of other helpful bonuses that can come through email as well. So yes, we're doing another one August 16th for 4 days, and then an exciting offer will be announced on Monday, and I'll give you a little hint. Save the date, August 22nd. Something is being announced that people can participate in as well. So thanks everybody for joining me on this live herbs podcast, and I'll see you same time and place next week. Bye-bye.